Wrong ones part ways, right ones find their way. The article I'm sharing with you today is about truly lasting marriages being profitable. Economist Degang once said something that deeply resonated with many people. He said, "Marriage is nothing but two people running an enterprise together. The contract they sign is for a family business, and what they sign is a lifelong wholesale futures contract." In life, we tend to think that marriage should only be about love and avoid the topic of profit. So much so that most couples, whenever anything other than emotions is involved, even if they indeed have needs, feel embarrassed to bring it up. Little do they know marriages solely based on emotions are not always reliable. Truly lasting marriages actually rely on mutual interests. Marriage is the reality of everyday life. There's a saying, love is romantic, marriage is realistic. When the practicalities of life replace the romance, when all the tenderness integrates into the mundane chores of daily life, and when everything becomes ordinary, we must face the realities of life together. We often believe that marriage is about carrying a sincere heart and giving our all in love, thinking that any problem will be dissolved by love and resolved by emotions. However, countless facts remind us that love will eventually be defeated by the trivialities and realities of marriage. This reminds me of the first romantic experience shared by the comedian Degang. Degang met an amateur actress named Zhonghui while participating in a sketch comedy class in Tianjin's Zhonghui Cultural Center. Though they had just met, they fell deeply in love and quickly got married, thinking that marriage would be no different from love as long as their feelings were strong enough, believing that their future would be filled with romance and happiness. However, when their passion faded and their meager income struggled to support the family, both of them felt lost. Especially after their son was born, the hardships of raising a child and the financial burden put their marriage at risk. After barely holding on for a few years, Zhonghui, feeling disappointed with Degang's perceived incompetence, ended the marriage in divorce. Interests are the foundation of stable marriage. Thanks for listening so far. This channel is for everyone to improve better daily. If any of the words or sentences are helpful, then both my team and I will be very happy. Subscribing and following will help keep us moving forward. Let's get back to sharing. I once heard a story about a high school classmate who returned to China after studying abroad and became successful in business, earning millions. Once during a gathering, a friend jokingly told his wife, "You should take good care of him in the future, or he might leave you at any moment." After all, people become bad when they have money. Instead of getting angry, his wife replied with a smile, "I'm not worried about that at all. He won't leave me. He voluntarily handed over all his client information to me just to reassure me. How could he bear to leave me?" Several years later, as his wife had predicted, they remained happily together, showing that interests are the foundation of a stable marriage. The famous philosopher Hobbes once said, "Interest is the driving force behind all human actions." Marriage is no exception. It's not just about money, but also includes the companionship, encouragement, tolerance, understanding, and respect. Money is just one of the many interests in marriage. It's not the only one. In marriage, regardless of the interest, when we see benefits, we are more willing to continue. But when there are no benefits, the marriage will crumble. Interests act as the adhesive between spouses. Using them appropriately makes the relationship more reliable. Depending solely on emotions to maintain a marriage will inevitably lead to drifting apart over time as love fades. Reciprocity is the key to balance and longevity in marriage. French writer Romain Rolland once said, "In marriage, everyone has to give and take, which is the law of supply." And we often see situations where, in the name of love, one partner gives whatever the other wants, even when the other doesn't know what they want themselves. This unbalanced giving without expecting anything in return leads to the diminishing of feelings and poses a danger to the marriage. One side becomes exhausted from giving too much without receiving anything, while the other side, accustomed to receiving without giving, starts taking things for granted, causing an imbalance in the relationship that eventually leads to the failure of the marriage. Only when giving and receiving are relatively balanced can a marriage last. A good marriage is never afraid to discuss interests. Japanese novelist Shikosaku Maeda said, "Harmony in marriage is similar to friendship. where the most beautiful thing is that both sides are neither hiding their true selves nor able to coordinate with each other. Marriage is not as sacred as we imagine. It, like many other interpersonal relationships, the only difference is that as spouses, we need to understand each other's needs more clearly than we do when interacting with others and not conceal our own needs. Only by honestly expressing our true needs can our partner accurately provide us with the benefits we desire. The relationship between spouses will then gradually warm up as each other's needs are met. So-called marriage is nothing more than mutual support and mutual achievement. As the writer Bai Yang said, for the continuation of love and the happiness of marriage, the wife must please the husband, and the husband must please the wife. A perfect marriage cannot exist without mutual giving and pleasing, and the first step to pleasing each other is expressing interests, making each other more aware. Therefore, a good marriage is never afraid to discuss interests because interests are the prerequisite for the longevity of marriage. That's all for today's sharing. Thank you to the members. Feel free to leave a comment and tell me your thoughts. Don't forget to like and share with your friends. Looking forward to meeting you again.